Okay, so another day and another F1 My Team upload. Today we're here for the Canadian Grand Prix. And first of all, as always, if you haven't seen the previous race at Baku, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. And also, if you're new to the channel, we hit 70k last night. If you're new, hit the red subscribe button. It really helps me out, and we're now on the run to 100k. But today we're here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Circuit de Villeneuve, very much looking forward to this one, as last year we had some great pace around here. So in the last episode, at the end, we actually upgraded our personnel simulator to level 2 and also the durability fabrication to level 2 as well. Those upgrades are pending to arrive yet. Hopefully they'll be here soon. Elsewhere, this weekend at Canada, we arrive with a pretty strong package. We've re-overtaken Alpine and we're once again behind Ferrari. The midfield battle is really close right now and really intense between Ferrari, ourselves, Alpine and Alfa Romeo. We do have 2 upgrades on the way. Both are major and both are for the engine, so hopefully they'll help us take a step forward, potentially overtaking Ferrari. And also for this weekend's race, we have rain on Sunday towards the very end of the Grand Prix, so it could be a spicy one, folks, so stay tuned to the end because we might be in for an absolute cracker. So we jump into Friday practice here at the Circuit de Villeneuve, one of my favourite tracks on the calendar and one of our better ones in terms of pace. We're usually pretty strong here. After practice we scored 950 points, taking our total above 1000, and we now move into qualifying 1. Now, last weekend, Baku, we got knocked out in Q1. I want to try and get back on top because the race previous to that at Monaco, we got into Q3, and I want to try and see if I can make that a bit more of a frequent, occurrence in this series. So you join me at the end of my first time lap in Q1, and I'm going to go for a bit of a unique strategy here. So I'm going to finish this lap and go for yet another push lap, so back-to-back consecutive fast laps as we have enough ERS, enough fuel and good enough tyres. I'm literally going to go for a second consecutive push lap basically to try and improve it. I felt like there was a bit more time to be found, and you can see right now we're literally dead equal with our previous lap, but I knew there was something to find through the final chicane, and we end up finding about 2.5 tenths through there alone. So a much better, cleaner run in sector 3. We move up into the top 10, and a 107.8 is going to be the lap time for now. Eventually, at the end of Q1, we drop down to P14, and we're only safe by about 2 tenths, so we need this lap. So let's go for a full lap of Canada with engine sound. And there we go, across the line. We set a high 6, so 106.8, pretty decent lap, and we improved by yet another 2 tenths, and that lap would be enough to see us move into Q2. So in the end, happy with that, job done, and we're going to be, for the first time since Monaco, back in Q2. Aaron Barnes at the bottom of the pile there, as you can see in P22. And the only bad thing is we had to use 2 sets of tyres. I was hoping to get through on just 1 set. So in this first run in Q2, this lap right here, we're actually running a used set from Q1. It was actually the set that we used on our final best lap in Q1. We actually did a 1 minute 6.9 and only a tenth off our Q1 lap. So a very strong banker on a used set of tyres. But we're now going to go for a full lap. 30 seconds to go. Fresh set of softs. All or nothing. Currently P13. Let's see if we can try and get anything else out of this lap. So here we go. On the pit straight, down towards turn 1. You want to brake down to 4th gear. Important to take a lot of inside curb, you get a bit more rotation as well. Then down to 3rd for turn 2, keep it in the high gear, try and get the rotation and then let the car run wide, clean up the traction out of there as we head into 3 and 4. Aggressive over the curbs, shifting in between the left and the right to 6th gear, flat out through 5, then 6 and 7, 3rd gear, a lot of inside curb here to open up the right to really maximise your exit and your straight line speed along this straight. 8 and 9 I believe up next, right left combo, just jink the car to the left slightly once you clear the barrier on the left in the shadow to open up the right hander as much as possible. Use all the run off curb, down to the hairpin, 100 meter board, down to 2nd gear, possibly 1st depending on kind of your comfort level and your preference. Quickly back on the throttle, trying to clean up that traction out of there, short shifting if necessary, DRS open on the back straight, and now just the final chicane to go and the Wall of Champions. Braking at about 75 to 80 meters I'd say. 5th gear, important to really attack the first one to open up the line for the second, using all the runoff, and then keep the car tight to the right as we cross the line and we improve by over 2/10, and that's going to be it for us. A very strong lap and the car working very well indeed. And the question is, did we get into Q3? And the answer is no, not quite. So we missed out by about 3/10, so not too shabby. Didn't quite have enough pace, but we're not far off, and I think we're usually better on Sunday, so I do think there's reasons to be optimistic about the race. Overall though, good qualifying, P13, I'll take that, and not much more left in the car. P12 wasn't possible, so I'll take that. We maximised the performance, and that's all we can really ask for. So that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race for the Canadian Grand Prix, and of course, with some potential rain.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Sainz and George Russell, Leclerc, Gasly, Martinez and Tsunoda, Ocon, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Mazepin, Lundgaard. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
It's time for the race at the Canadian Grand Prix, and we start from 13th place. So this one looks like we had no grid penalties to benefit from, so we're starting exactly where we qualified. Now, strategy is going to be a very key part of this race, and I feel like the best option for us is going to be a medium, soft, soft. The game originally wanted us to do a medium, medium, soft, and I may still consider that, but this entirely is going to depend on the rain. In principle, we're going for this, but if the rain arrives before schedule, then we'll go back to the original strategy. The hard tyre is not an option because it's very, very slow around here, and I don't want to use it. Fuel-wise, we're running exactly 35 on the nose, and that should do the job. I am tempted to go slightly under because of the rain, to be honest, so I might go just 0.3 under, a little bit, just underneath, because when the rain does arrive, we tend to save fuel anyway. So, yeah, we're going to jump into it. First and foremost, the objective is to try and find a good pace and good rhythm on the mediums, and then try and build up our confidence, make a couple of overtakes, and make sure we're the first car on the alternate strategy, and then we'll just see where the weather takes us. That's going to be the key thing here today. So, let's jump into it. If you guys are excited, leave a like, and let's get the racing action underway. Okay, let's do this. 5 lights. Let's make it a good one. Have a bit of fun. Nice sound, away we go. Not a bad start at all, actually. Pretty decent to say we're on mediums. Down to turn 1. Oh my god, Archon with an absolute dive bomb up the inside, which I could not believe. That came out of nowhere, literally. So we're going to have to slot in behind Pierre Gasly here as we go into the chicane for the first time. Oh, that was so close, man, to getting wing damage. Archon Sainz side by side. We're going to use that to have a little look up the inside of Pierre into here. Got to leave a bit of room though on the inside for him, but we get the move done. What a start from Esteban Ocon though. Absolutely insane. Gasly coming back for seconds. We're going to just about keep him at bay. Looks like everyone is on the soft tyre right now, so we're going to be at a disadvantage here for the foreseeable future. Down to the hairpin. Don't run into the back of Sainz. That was bloody close. So we just about avoided having contact. So P13 still at the end of lap 1. We got past Gasly, but we lost out to Ocon, otherwise it could have been P12. Let's see what kind of pace we have. McLaren 1-2 out front again. Watch out for them. They could be dark horses for the championship this season. We're going to try and find our feet, get into a race pace, and most importantly, try and stay within 1 second before DRS gets enabled on the next lap. So let's see how the race pace looks in this race. I think I can get Sainz here, to be honest. We don't have DRS. We do have pretty good straight line speed though. Maybe not enough. We are going to force Sainz to go defensive into the final chicane. We may be able to get the run here on the Spaniard. We lose a lot of momentum there as I had to get out of here. Here comes Pierre Gasly. I'm going to shut off the inside.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Sainz is still there, but we're going to get it done and we're going to move up into P12. The bad thing is we've lost a lot of time, so that 1 second gap to Ocon ahead has been pretty much removed. But Ocon is battling right now, so we should be able to catch up as Russell and Leclerc are side by side here. It's all kicking off in this race. Only bad news, we're losing ground to the leaders, which is not ideal. But let's see, we've got 2 Alpines versus 1 Ferrari as we go into the chicane. Oh, Ocon's very slow there. I've lost all momentum again. Down to the hairpin, who's going to break the latest? We've got Gasly on the inside as well. Oh my god. Let's just be careful here, people. Let's not make a mistake. I should be able to edge ahead of Carlos Sainz here, I feel like. I'll say that, look at him go in the Ferrari. All of a sudden now that Ferrari's got a lot of engine mode. It's going to be a drag race. Wheel to wheel with the Spaniard. Into the chicane we go. Going to leave some space, but again we just lose all momentum on corner exit there because of the AI's battling. And here comes Sainz again. Oh no, this is incredible, but scary. And Sainz goes for a spin. There's contact. He tags onto Gasly's tyre, and Sainz is round right in front of us. Wow, I knew that was going to happen. It was all getting a bit too chaotic. Again though, more battling, and Gasly swoops right across us there. That was scary. Got to be careful here as we go to the outside. Looks like we're going to get it done though. What a battle, what a sequence. And we're mixing up with these guys on the medium. We're showing them that we're not vulnerable. We can fight on these tyres. Oh, that was a bad chicane from me there. That's going to put me under some pressure. Here comes Pierre Gasly to the outside. Going to have to keep it late on the brakes into the hairpin. Now Tsunoda's getting involved as well. But hopefully now we can relax a little bit with some DRS and kind of just form a line and just relax for now. Russell was pulled away in P9. This has allowed him to open up a bit of a gap to Leclerc, but let's try and see if we can regroup and keep the battle going. Personal best, things have just calmed down a little bit as Leclerc gets the move done on George Russell for P9. So we've got a couple of Alpines ahead of us now. I feel pretty decent. We're at that crossover stage now where the medium should just start to make a bit of a difference compared to the soft tyre. So we're going to try and look to make a move on Ocon and then Russell as well, and just try and make some progress really and get a race moving. Feels like Leclerc's got the advantage right now with the pace, so I want to try and run with him if possible. So let's try and see if we can get past Ocon. That's going to be the first order of business. If I can nail this chicane, which I just really can't do this race. I'm really struggling for a rear grip. We'll try and pass Ocon. Maybe we'll do it on the back straight. I'm pretty good on the brakes into there, so that's going to be a really strong overtaking opportunity. But look at this. Great exit. Ocon struggling for traction massively here. If we can force him to go defensive and get out of Russell's slipstream, that's going to help us out a little bit as well. Here we go. Coming through. And we've done it. Job done. We're ahead of Ocon. Let's make sure we stay ahead into turn 1, which we do. Russell next. 1 down, 2 to go. Got a few cars in the pits. Russell pits as well. Oh, the back end just got very loose on me there on the crossover. Luckily we avoid the wall of champions, but we've got quite a few cars in, boxing for medium. I'm expecting Leclerc in this lap as well, so hopefully we'll just get the DRS slingshot and waste no time behind him. But I'm just struggling with rear traction right now. Okay, so Leclerc should pit. I'm not going to use any EIS, I'm going to assume he's going to box. To be honest, I'd be stupid to go for the move, realistically. We may as well wait. And there we go. Off he goes. It's so hard to keep your reference point when you see a car drive off like that. So we're going to take the race lead and set a personal best in the process. Clean air for us. Let's see how this goes. We've got a few more cars still to kind of shuffle out. Snowder stays out for one more. Barnes pits. So we've got Norris 3 seconds behind, so he'll be in the back of us pretty shortly. Let's focus on our own race though and try and run a good pace for the next few laps. So Ricardo set to 185. Pretty fast paced. AI about over a second lap faster than me right now. Lando 1.5 adrift, so it won't take long. Realistically, I don't really want to battle, so we might lose a bit of time with all of these other guys approaching. Aston Martins, Mercedes, McLarens. Obviously, I have to try and judge it and make the best decision, but there could be a lot of time lost here. Okay, so Lando's going to be first up. I'm not using any ERS here. We'll just let him take the race in line. We lose minimal time this way. Ricardo next. Now this one's a bit more of a sticky one. Ricardo and Hamilton are pretty close together. Let's see Ricardo through here. This is going to work out perfectly for us. Minimal time loss. Keep it going. I mean, we're on for a personal best right now. So I'm running as fast as I can. Hamilton now not too far behind, but I'm going to try and keep him at bay. This straight isn't long enough.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Hamilton will have to wait a little bit as we get a yellow. That's behind, I believe. That could be massive. We'll find out shortly.
Okay, clear.
I think it might be an Aston Martin. So Aston Vettel out of the race. Big one. And that's good because it gives us a bit of breathing room after Hamilton. Speaking of which, I think this might be the straight where he gets me, to be honest. Let's not even defend. Oh, never mind, he's going to go to the inside anyway, so I left the racing line for him, but he didn't want to take it, so there we go, Hamilton's through, and we'll get DRS in the back straight because of this, so I'm trying my best to minimise time loss here. So far, I'm sticking with Hamilton here. I'm just about hanging on to his DRS. I'm starting to use my energy now as we're approaching my in-lap. On for another personal best here, but this is working because we're losing no more time now. Stroll isn't catching, and Bottas can't overtake me, so this is working out beautifully for us. Just going to keep draining the battery as we're going to pit next lap. There we go, job done. We're going to box this lap. Bottas is now the next car behind. He's overtaken Lance Stroll. Very good end to the stint. We managed to do a good job of tackling the traffic and actually make it work to our advantage. We're now going to box for a set of soft tyres though. Here we go. Make sure we nail this pit entry. Lovely. Probably a bit too cautious, but still better safe than sorry. No word on the rain yet. I asked for the weather forecast in that lap and I got nothing back, so we're going to just stick to the original strategy. We're going to try and make the soft tyres work. Here we go. Oh, it's a slow one. 2.7, not ideal. Here comes Leclerc. Can we be out ahead of Russell, who's right, just literally going past us right now?
To speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
It's going to be close with Russell here on the pit exit. We're going to be just behind him, but I'm going to cut underneath. Up the inside of the chicane we go, and I'm going to squeeze and force my way through. There we go. That worked out pretty well for us. To say they're running on fresh mediums, they didn't really get that much of an advantage over us. Let's try and get that 1 second gap now and catch up to Lord Percival.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
And there it is. There's the first message regarding the weather. So this could be interesting. We'll see how this pans out. Meanwhile, we're closing in on Leclerc here. I'm also on for a fastest lap if I can nail this final sector. Let's get past the Ferrari. I believe the fastest lap right now is a 1:80 from Lando. And we're on target for that as we speak. You see Leclerc using quite a bit of engine mode here, but we're going to get ahead of him. Take the race in line if possible. Get the double DRS. And there we go, job done. And it should be a fastest lap as well. There we go. Let's try and drop Leclerc now out of that 1 second window. And let's try and close up to those Red Bulls. Now we've got a few cars in the pits this lap as I've just caught up to the Red Bulls. So I'm expecting one of them to box, and it's going to be the latter. So Verstappen getting preference over the lead car Perez as we drift away through the final chicane. Let's try and catch up to Perez, but this means that they are going to go for another set of mediums, and they're not going to try and stretch for a set of softs, which is interesting. So they're now on their final set of boots and ready for the rain if it arrives. We'll see how this works out for us in this race.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Quite a way away, 15 minutes. Interesting. It's going to be a tricky decision to make for us. Surely we've got to stop again. It makes sense. I think we'll lose more by trying to stay out. More cars in the pits though. Perez now will eventually box, so that'll give us relative clean air as we struggle for that final chicane again, man. I'm really struggling on rear tyre wear. Now we've got some traffic to deal with here. So Hamilton and Ricciardo closing in. I'm not going to waste my time battling. We're going to do a similar thing to the previous one. We'll just let Hamilton crack on, and then Ricciardo won't be too far behind. I need to try and stretch this to lap 26 ideally, because the next set of tyres that we're going to use is a used set as we get our first warning for track limits there. So yeah, this was a new set. The next ones aren't new, so
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
yeah, we're going to ignore that and try and stretch this one more. I'm going to see if I can try and hang on to the DRS of these two. Okay, here we go in lap time. It's been pretty painful. 7/10 off my personal best. Tyres are pretty much done, so I'm glad we extended by one more lap, because the next set is going to be a used set, and I don't think they're that fresh. I think they're quite used. So into the pits we go. Perfect entry that time, much more on the pace. The question is, where are we going to be relative to the Red Bulls? That's going to be the target. This time, if I can get a sub 2 second stop, that would be perfect for us. Let's see.
Go, go, go.
It's better, it's 2.4, but it's not enough, and we're still behind the Red Bulls, but we're going to be comfortably ahead of Charles Leclerc, so
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
time for another charge on the soft tyres, and no sign of this rain, so we're going to stick to the plan. Here's my fastest lap attempt. I don't have DRS this time on the final straight. I'm draining my entire battery for this, and we don't get it back, so there goes that. I tried it, I fouled. I'm not as fast this time though. You can tell these are not fresh, they're used tyres. You just don't have the same edge on pace, especially for that first lap. Yellow flag further back though. I'm trying to close into these Red Bulls, but they're just a bit quick right now. I'm struggling to really make a big inroad into the gap right now. It doesn't help that literally Perez is dragging Verstappen along, but at some point I'm expecting Perez to run out of DRS. But we're just lacking a bit of pace, man. These top teams are a bit too fast. Okay, we've got DRS on Verstappen, finally. I've got no ERS left, man. It's going to be tough to close the gap. It's starting to get a bit dark. I feel like the rain's not too far away now.
Rain is imminent. Rain is imminent. Be careful out there. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Well, that changed quick. Okay, so the final 4 laps are going to be pretty interesting. It's literally getting darker and darker by the second, all of a sudden out of nowhere. Okay, so eye on the sky. Let's see what happens here. This is kind of frustrating. It's just a Red Bull roadblock. Perez is dragging Verstappen out of every scenario, and the straight line speed is just pretty hard to match, to be honest. Although we're pretty close to max here, I might be able to do something if we can force him to go defensive. The rain is starting to fall now as well, for good measure. Into the final chicane we go. Going to try and set up the cutback. Oh my god, again, why do the AI keep doing that? Why do they keep braking when it matters? We're going to go up the inside though of Verstappen and claim P7. Now the rain is falling. We're going to have to see this race out, I think, on the dries. Let's see how this goes. It could be interesting. The grip is going fast here. I am tempted to take a risk. Why not? For the content. Shall we go for it? I think I am.
Okay, copy that.
Intermediates. Let's go. Why not? Look at this. Let's do a Fernando Alonso 2008 Spa intermediate call for the last lap of the race. Could be risky, might backfire, but the track is getting pretty wet very fast here, so let's just give it a shot. Here we go.
DRS has been disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline.
Right, so let's see how this pays off. I don't care about losing a few points.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
This is all part of the fun, baby. to make this race a bit more interesting. So out of the pits we go. Should be prime intermediates. Red Bull have only just got out of the first sector, so track should be perfect for us right now. I mean, look at this. Everyone is just driving on water on slicks. No grip at all for anybody. I think this could work out. We're going to breeze past the close, tries to cut across. Hey, listen, if we lose out, we lose out. No big deal. But I wanted to give it a shot. The heroics. Lando wins it. Through the hairpin. I think any other track, and this would have been a great call because the weather turned so fast. I think we're too far back, unless it's absolutely soaking. The Red Bulls are going at 2 miles an hour through the final chicane. It's going to be P8, which is still fine. I don't mind. We only lost 1 place to Verstappen, which realistically Prix would have passed me anyway because the AI are very strong in these mixed conditions. But there we go, through the final corner. 1 more lap and we could have been the jackpot.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's it then for another magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
There we go then, job done, more points, very happy with that. We rolled the dice, it didn't work. Hey ho, I'm not really that bothered. You know, it was one of them ones where if we make it stick, we get P6 and we gain 4 more points, we double our tally. We only lost 2 points, you know, with that gamble, so it's not really too much of a thing for us really. Lando Norris though picks up the win from McLaren, and McLaren back in the mix, looking very strong. And in the fight for the World Championship, they very much kind of replaced Red Bull as the closest team to Mercedes. Hamilton P2, Ricciardo P3, so both McLarens on the podium. Hamilton though with the fastest lap. Lance Stroll P4 for Aston Martin, great drive from him in his home Grand Prix. Bottas P5, Perez, Verstappen, ourselves in 8th. Leclerc and Russell round out the top 10, and then missing out on the points, Gasly, Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Latifi, Lundgaard, Barnes, Mazepin, Schumacher, and then Tsunoda and Sebastian Vettel out the race. So overall, a decent day at the office once again, and we're hitting some really good consistency now in terms of performances. In terms of the driver standings, we dropped to 5th as I believe Hamilton overtakes us. Lando Norris is your new championship leader. Massive news. Ricciardo up to 3rd. McLaren looking very, very strong. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren take the lead as well, and it's papaya everywhere. They run both championships. Mercedes down to 2nd. We hold on to P5, and to be fair, we're building a bit of a gap now to Ferrari and AlphaTauri, so we are holding it down by ourselves, one-man job, and doing a very, very good job at that, of holding down P5. So happy with that. Good day at the office. We're now going to move into upgrades again and do more work on our car.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
I don't think there is one. Hard work, consistency, having a good team, and it all comes together.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
I mean, it comes to the territory when you have mixed weather races. I don't think it was that bad for us, though. I think we had a pretty decent day, so yeah.
Well, here's hoping they're working hard to find some improvements.
Well then, another race in the books, and Sergio Perez does, in the end, win the rivalry. I tried my best, it just wasn't to be, and 4 points in it, pretty close actually, but we just didn't have enough. We tried to run him close, but yeah, you can see that Aaron Barnes taking a massive hit in terms of acclaim, so I can't wait to replace him, to be honest. It's not ideal for us. having a test drive as a second driver, but that's my fault. In terms of cash influxes from sponsors and stuff, we get a full payout, which is awesome. A bit of damage on Aaron's end, but still a good day all round, and a good bit of change, a nice bit of coin being made as we now tick over $12 million. Now we've got a few things to get through. First and foremost, a sponsorship renewal with Zinetto. Happy to stick with them. I believe that's the interview one, so no issues there. I'm more than happy to keep that going. 1,461 resource points to spend. We'll have a look and see what we can do. So on the aero side of things, we don't have any major discounts besides the DRS maximum slot gap. On the chassis, we don't have anything major besides the lightweight wheel rims for tyre wear. And then on the engine, rotor speed for the ERS, 10%. And that's about it realistically. Electrical systems, I need this right here, facility spec 2. So I'm actually going to hold off and I want to try and buy this upgrade. So I forgot to do activities amongst all the work, so I just completely forgot. So we're going to go ahead and do a bit of aero team building. Now, we've got confirmation of the upgrades for the durability department, for the facility on level 2, and also the personnel simulator on level 2 as well. So those are done, and now we're going to finally go ahead and buy the electrical systems level 3. We have just about enough points, and that's going to help us out massively in the second half of the season in terms of making it on our original allocation of engine components, hopefully. So yeah, job done for us, and I think we can now wrap things up for today's episode and see what's next for us at France. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, then feel free to leave a like. It really helps me out, guys, on the YouTube algorithm. If you want to try and smash this video past 1,200 likes, I'd appreciate a comment down below, your thoughts and opinions, what I can do better to improve these videos. As always, I'm open to feedback. If you're new, subscribe. Like I said, we're on the road to 100k, so if you want to help me get there any sooner, I'd massively appreciate it. As always, check out 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.